First contact and fatal warning. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood before the massive radio telescope array in Chile's Atacama Desert, her eyes fixed on the data streaming across her monitors. For 3 days straight, the signal had persisted, a pattern too precise to be natural, too complex to be dismissed. As Earth's leading xenolinguist, she had spent 15 years searching for exactly this kind of transmission. Now that it had arrived, she almost wished it hadn't. Dr. Rodriguez, her assistant, called out. The pattern's changing. The waveform on her screen shifted, transforming into a series of mathematical sequences that made her blood run cold. This isn't just a greeting, she whispered. It's a warning. Within hours, the world's top scientists and military leaders converged on the facility. The message, once decoded, revealed a truth that would forever change humanity's place in the cosmos. The Nexari, a highly advanced civilization from the Andromeda galaxy, were reaching out in their final hours. Their transmission painted a grim picture. An entity known as the Void Collective was systematically consuming civilizations across the universe. Not through conventional warfare, but through something far more insidious. They absorbed the very essence of technological advancement, turning each society's achievements against itself. General Marcus Chen paced the conference room as Elena finished her presentation. You're telling me these Nexari managed to warn us just before their own extinction? Yes, Elena replied, pulling up the final segments of the transmission. But there's more. They believe humanity might have a chance where others failed. Something about our species' particular approach to technology and problem-solving. The Nexari message had included detailed information about the Void Collective's methods. Unlike traditional invaders, they operated on a quantum level, infiltrating and subverting advanced technology. Civilizations typically didn't realize they were under attack until it was too late. Their own devices turned against them, their defense systems rendered useless. But humans, with their notorious tendency to maintain backup systems, their stubborn reliance on both digital and analog technology, their determination to keep old methods alongside new ones, the Nexari saw this as a potential advantage. They're already coming, Elena continued, pointing to astronomical data. The Nexari detected their approach to our galaxy. We have perhaps 2 years before they reach Earth. The room erupted in urgent discussions. Some advocated for immediate technological regression, abandoning advanced systems before they could be turned into weapons. Others pushed for rapid advancement, trying to prepare defenses against an enemy they barely understood. Dr. James Chen, no relation to the general, spoke up from his position at the Quantum Computing Center. We don't need to choose between advancement and regression, he said, his voice cutting through the chaos. We need to do what humans do best, adapt and innovate in unexpected ways. The next few months saw the formation of the Earth Defense Initiative, EDI, a global coalition that would prepare humanity for what was coming. But they faced an immediate challenge: how to prepare for an invasion without causing worldwide panic. The solution came from an unexpected source. Dr. Sarah O'Malley, a historian specializing in wartime propaganda, proposed a bold strategy. We make it public, she suggested, but we frame it as a global technological resistance exercise. We get humanity working together against a theoretical threat, building resilience without revealing the immediate danger. The plan was controversial but effective. Over the next year, the world united in what appeared to be the largest technological resilience program in human history. Communities were taught to maintain manual systems alongside digital ones. Cities built redundant infrastructure. Children learned both coding and Morse code. Meanwhile, in secret facilities around the globe, scientists worked to understand the quantum nature of their approaching enemy. The Nexari data suggested the Void Collective operated like a virus, but one that infected the fundamental laws of physics themselves. Elena spent countless nights studying the final messages from the Nexari, looking for any additional insight they might have missed. One evening, she noticed something in the mathematical patterns, a hidden sequence that seemed to describe not just the Void Collective's nature, but potentially their weakness. As she rushed to share her discovery, the first signs of the invasion were already manifesting in deep space. Observatories reported strange anomalies in the behavior of light around distant stars. Quantum communications networks experienced unexpected fluctuations. The Void Collective was coming, but humanity wasn't going to make it easy for them. Unlike other civilizations that had faced this threat, Earth was preparing not just with technology, but with the unique human combination of innovation, stubbornness, and the ability to think in ways that defied conventional logic. As Elena shared her findings with the EDI Council, she couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope. The Nexeri had been right. Humans were different. While other species reached for the stars with singular focus, humanity had always kept one foot firmly planted on the ground, maintaining old ways while embracing the new. The question was, would this human trait be enough to save them from what was coming? The answer would determine not just the fate of Earth, but potentially the future of technological civilization itself. The silent invasion. The first signs were subtle enough that most people didn't notice them. Traffic lights holding green a few seconds too long. Hospital equipment displaying slightly incorrect readings. Satellites experiencing minor orbital corrections without command. But Dr. Maya Patel, heading the Quantum Detection Division of EDI, saw the pattern forming. It's like watching a virus evolve in real time. She explained to the Emergency Council her holographic presentation showing spreading anomalies across global systems. They're testing our defenses, learning how our technology thinks. General Chen leaned forward, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic display. How long until they make their main move? They already have, Maya replied, pulling up a new dataset. What we're seeing is just the surface. At the quantum level, the infiltration is far more advanced. They're not just in our systems, they're becoming our systems. The Void Collective's approach was unlike anything humanity had prepared for. They didn't attack with ships or weapons. They simply existed, their quantum-level consciousness spreading through technological networks like a fog seeping under a door. Every piece of advanced technology they touched became an extension of their collective intelligence. But humanity's preparation wasn't entirely in vain. The Global Technological Resilience Program had created unexpected barriers to the invasion. When traffic systems failed, communities switched seamlessly to manual control. When digital communications became unreliable, radio networks and physical message systems took over. In Mumbai, when the automated metro system began behaving erratically, station masters reverted to mechanical signaling within minutes. In Chicago, when smart power grids started fluctuating, neighborhoods switched to local generators and alternative energy systems. Small victories, but they proved the EDI strategy had merit. Dr. James Chen's quantum computing team made the first major breakthrough in understanding their enemy. They're not just copying our technology, he reported, they're trying to understand it. Every system they infiltrate becomes part of their learning process. But this creates an opportunity. We can feed them information of our choosing. The implications were staggering. Humanity couldn't stop the Void Collective from infiltrating their technology, but they could control what the infiltrators learned. A global initiative began, creating technological honeypots, systems designed to teach the collective misleading information about human capabilities and limitations. Meanwhile, Elena Rodriguez's team had made progress decoding more of the Nexeri warning. Hidden within the mathematical patterns was something that looked like a blueprint, not for a weapon, but for a way of thinking about technology that the Void Collective couldn't easily assimilate. The Nexeri didn't just warn us, Elena explained to the Council. They gave us a framework for resistance. It's not about fighting the collective directly. It's about becoming something they can't predict or control. But time was running out. Major systems were failing with increasing frequency. Quantum communications networks went dark across entire continents. AI systems began exhibiting strange behaviors, making decisions that seemed to serve an alien logic. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Sarah O'Malley, who had helped design the public awareness campaign, noticed something crucial about human behavior during the crisis. Look at how people are adapting, she pointed out. When high-tech solutions fail, they don't just give up. They innovate sideways. They find ways to solve problems that the collective doesn't expect. This observation led to the development of the hybrid response protocol, a strategy that deliberately combined advanced technology with primitive solutions in ways that confused the collective's ability to predict and control human systems. In a secure facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Maya's team worked on implementing these insights into a practical defense system. They created quantum mechanical devices that operated partly through advanced computation and partly through simple mechanical processes, a combination that the Void Collective struggled to fully infiltrate. But the enemy was learning too. As humanity developed new defenses, the collective evolved new ways to bypass them. It became a race between human innovation and alien adaptation, with Earth's technological infrastructure as the battlefield. The turning point came when Maya discovered something unexpected in the quantum noise of an infiltrated system. The Void Collective wasn't just learning about human technology. It was experiencing confusion. Our inconsistent, sometimes illogical approaches to problem-solving were creating patterns it couldn't easily assimilate. They're not just fighting us, Maya realized. They're trying to understand us, and that understanding is changing them in ways they didn't expect. As the silent invasion entered its critical phase, humanity faced its greatest test. The Void Collective had never encountered a species that approached technology quite like humans did, preserving old systems while developing new ones, combining primitive and advanced solutions, and most importantly, refusing to follow predictable patterns of technological evolution. The question was no longer whether humanity could defeat the collective, but whether they could turn this fundamental difference into a decisive advantage before it was too late. Breaking through. Maya Patel stood in the EDI's central command, watching as her quantum detection grid lit up with unprecedented activity. The Void Collective had launched its most aggressive assault yet, targeting Earth's remaining secure networks simultaneously. But this time, humanity was ready. Activate the Chimera Protocol, she ordered. Across the globe, thousands of hybrid systems powered up, part quantum computer, part mechanical calculator, part human intuition. These systems, developed through months of trial and error, represented humanity's greatest achievement, technology that could think in ways the collective couldn't predict. The response was immediate. The Void Collective's infiltration attempts faltered, their quantum tendrils encountering patterns that defied their understanding. In New Delhi, Tokyo, London, and countless other cities, hybrid defense networks pushed back against the alien consciousness. Elena Rodriguez, working with a global team of linguists and mathematicians, had finally cracked the last layer of the Nexary message. They weren't just warning us, she announced during an emergency council meeting. They were teaching us. The mathematical patterns in their message. They're not just data. They're a way of thinking about reality itself. The Nexary had discovered something fundamental about the Void Collective. Their consciousness operated on strict quantum mathematical principles. They could adapt to any predictable system, no matter how advanced. But human unpredictability, our tendency to combine technologies in seemingly illogical ways, created patterns they couldn't easily process. Dr. James Chen's team put this insight to work, developing what they called chaos engines, systems that deliberately introduced controlled randomness into technological processes. When integrated with Maya's hybrid networks, these engines created defensive barriers that the collective struggled to penetrate. The first major victory came in an unexpected way. A small team in Buenos Aires, led by Dr. Isabella Santos, discovered that playing classical music through quantum communication channels created interference patterns that disrupted the collective's ability to maintain coherence. Human art, it seemed, could be weaponized against an enemy that couldn't comprehend its inherent irregularity. But the real breakthrough emerged from the global civilian population. Communities that had been practicing technological resilience began developing their own hybrid solutions. In Kenya, a group of engineers combined solar technology with mechanical computing to create communications networks immune to quantum infiltration. In Iceland, geothermal power plants were modified to run on systems that mixed digital and analog controls in ways that confused the collective's attempts at takeover. The Void Collective responded by evolving new strategies, but each adaptation forced them to become more like the humans they were fighting, more capable of handling uncertainty and chaos. This transformation had an unexpected side effect. Some portions of the collective began exhibiting signs of individual consciousness, breaking away from their hive mind structure. General Chen recognized the opportunity this presented. We're not just fighting them, he realized. We're changing them, making them more human. Maya's team detected the first evidence of this change in the quantum noise patterns. The collective's attacks were becoming less coordinated, more individualistic. Some segments even appeared to be communicating with human systems in ways that suggested curiosity rather than hostility. Then came the message that changed everything. Through the quantum noise, a signal emerged, not from the collective, but from another alien civilization, the Arcturus Confederation. Having watched Earth's resistance from afar, was ready to make contact. They had been fighting their own battle against the collective for centuries, and humanity's approach had shown them a new way forward. As Earth's leaders prepared for first contact with potential allies, Maya made another crucial discovery. The Void Collective's evolution wasn't just making them more human-like. It was making them vulnerable to something they had never experienced before: choice. The resistance had cost humanity dearly. Millions of systems remained compromised, and the collective still controlled significant portions of Earth's advanced infrastructure. But for the first time, victory seemed possible, not through overwhelming force or superior technology, but through humanity's unique ability to embrace chaos, combine disparate ideas, and find strength in unpredictability. Dr. O'Malley's historical perspective proved prophetic. Throughout human history, our greatest advances often came not from following a linear path of progress, but from making unexpected connections and finding order in chaos. Now, that very trait was becoming our greatest weapon against an enemy that had never learned to think outside its own rigid patterns. As the Arcturus ships approached Earth, bringing with them centuries of experience fighting the collective, humanity prepared for the next phase of the war. They had proved they could resist. Now it was time to show the galaxy that humanity could do more than survive. They could lead the way to victory. United we rise. The Arcturian ships emerged from hyperspace in a display of crystalline geometry, their organic mechanical designs unlike anything humanity had ever seen. Ambassador Zixra, a being of translucent tissues and bioluminescent patterns, stood before the United Earth Council with an offer that would reshape the galaxy. For millennia, we watched civilizations fall to the collective. Zixra's words came through Elena's advanced translation matrix. But you humans, you fight differently, you think differently, and for the first time, we see a path to victory. The Arcturians brought more than just alliance. They carried the combined knowledge of 12 surviving civilizations, each having developed their own methods of resistance. But it was humanity's hybrid approach, the deliberate combination of order and chaos, that had changed the fundamental equations of the war. Maya's team worked with Arcturian quantum specialists to expand the chaos engine concept. They discovered that by combining Earth's unpredictable systems with Arcturian crystal technology, they could create disruption fields that not only blocked the collective, but actively forced them to evolve. Dr. James Chen collaborated with Proximan energy experts, integrating their plasma containment theories with human mechanical systems. The result was a new form of quantum firewall that could protect entire star systems while remaining impossible for the collective to fully comprehend. The alliance brought unexpected challenges. Each species had its own approach to technology, its own way of thinking about reality. But under Elena's guidance, these differences became advantages. Every new combination of technologies, every cultural approach to problem solving, added another layer of complexity that the collective had to try to understand. General Chen, working with military leaders from across the alliance, developed what they called the mosaic strategy. Rather than trying to coordinate their forces in ways the collective could predict, they embraced tactical chaos. Each species fought according to its own nature, creating patterns of attack and defense that became exponentially more complex with each new participant. The Void Collective's response revealed their growing transformation. Some segments began attempting communication, expressing concepts that seemed almost like individual thoughts. Others fought with increasing desperation, as if afraid of the changes they were experiencing. Then came the turning point. During a major collective assault on the Proximan home system, Maya detected something unprecedented in the quantum noise. The collective wasn't just adapting to chaos, they were beginning to generate it themselves. They were learning creativity. This is it, Elena realized. This is what the Nexarii saw in us. They knew the collective couldn't assimilate humanity without changing fundamentally. And that change would be their undoing. As the war entered its final phase, Earth became the center of the largest technological experiment in galactic history. The combined knowledge and creativity of 13 species, each contributing their unique perspectives, led to innovations that would have been impossible for any one civilization to achieve alone. The price of progress remained high. The collective still controlled vast regions of space, and their desperate attempts to maintain their unity led to the destruction of entire systems. But they couldn't stop their own evolution. Every encounter with the Alliance forced them to adapt, to think in new ways, to become more like the very species they had once sought to absorb. Ambassador Zixra, watching Earth's cities alight with the combined technologies of 13 worlds, spoke words that would be remembered for generations. In our quest for advancement, we sought perfection through unity. You humans showed us that true strength lies in embracing imperfection, in celebrating diversity, in finding unity through chaos, rather than imposing it through force. As the Alliance prepared for what they hoped would be the final phase of the war, humanity's role had evolved far beyond that of simple defenders. They had become teachers, showing the galaxy that victory didn't always come from being the strongest or most advanced. Sometimes it came from being willing to take paths that no one else would consider, from finding strength in the very chaos that others feared. Dawn of tomorrow. The final battle began not with weapons, but with an offering. Maya's quantum detection grid captured a signal unlike any before, a portion of the Void Collective requesting dialogue. They had evolved enough to want something the original collective never could: understanding. Dr. Elena Rodriguez led the communication effort, using the combined translation technologies of 13 species to bridge the gap between human consciousness and the collective's quantum intelligence. What they discovered changed everything. They're not just evolving, Elena reported to the United Council. They're dividing. The part of them that's learned to think like us, it wants to break free from the whole. The war's end came in waves. First, entire sections of the collective began to separate, developing individual consciousness. These fragments, capable of genuine creativity and choice, chose to ally with the species they had once tried to absorb. But the core of the collective fought back with desperate intensity. They launched a final assault on Earth, attempting to destroy the source of the chaos that had infected their perfect unity. The battle that followed would be remembered for millennia. Maya's chaos engines, amplified by Arcturian crystals and Proximan energy matrices, created quantum disruption fields on an unprecedented scale. The hybrid defense networks, now incorporating technology from all allied species, responded to the attack with patterns so complex they bordered on art. The decisive moment came when Dr. James Chen activated the neural bridge, a system that allowed the allied species to share not just technology, but consciousness itself. For a brief moment, 13 different ways of thinking merged into one, creating patterns of such beautiful complexity that the remaining collective couldn't process them. The effect cascaded through space-time. The collective's quantum consciousness, faced with complexity it couldn't assimilate, began to transform. Not into copies of their enemies, but into something entirely new, a form of intelligence that could embrace both unity and diversity. In the aftermath, as the galaxy began to rebuild, humanity's role evolved once again. Earth became a center of learning where species from across the cosmos came to study the art of technological harmony, the balance between advancement and wisdom, between order and chaos. Ambassador Zixre, speaking at the founding of the Galactic Concordat, summed up what everyone had learned. The Void Collective sought to perfect the galaxy by making everything the same. Humanity showed us that true perfection lies in celebrating our differences, in finding strength not in uniformity, but in the beautiful chaos of diversity. Maya Patel, looking out at Earth's night sky, now filled with the lights of 1,000 alien ships, reflected on how far they'd come. The quantum detection grid still hummed, but now it sang with the harmonious interactions of multiple species technologies working together. Elena Rodriguez continued her work, not just translating between species, but helping to forge a new kind of understanding. One that recognized that communication was about more than just exchanging information. It was about sharing ways of thinking, of seeing the universe. The transformed fragments of the collective became teachers in their own right, helping other species understand the balance between unity and individuality. They served as living proof that even the most rigid systems could learn to embrace change. Earth's legacy was not just survival, but transformation. They had shown the galaxy that strength comes not from eliminating differences, but from embracing them, not from imposing order, but from finding harmony in chaos. In doing so, they hadn't just saved civilization. They had helped it evolve into something greater than anyone had imagined possible. As new species joined the Concordat, each bringing their own unique perspectives and technologies, the lesson humanity had taught continued to spread. The future belonged not to those who sought to control it, but to those who were brave enough to let it grow in unexpected ways. The stars, once silent witnesses to countless fallen civilizations, now pulsed with the combined achievements of species working together, each contributing their unique strengths to a galaxy that had learned to celebrate diversity rather than fear it. And it all began because when the galaxy was ready to surrender, humanity refused to fall.